Hello everyone, this is Uhasa, and today we're going to be talking about this AFK Journey teaser from Japan. This is actually an advertisement probably reaching out for all the weebs and all the gacha players in Japan, but we can't help but speculate who these legs belong to. So without further ado, I'm gonna try to. Well, we've already figured out who these legs belong to. They belong to Lucilla and Cecilia, and Miriel is in the middle. And I'm going to give a take on how you say this in Japanese.
AFK Journey 旅するファンタジア RPG 今すぐようやく操作なしでも強くなる法事系 RPG 記憶を探り力を戻し明治として魔法の世界を征服する Sponsored AFK Journey.
And there you go. So this is clearly a Japanese advertisement. So let's take a look into these legs. Oh, by the way, I found this after some searching. It's on the Analytica Discord, and anyone can join it. And specifically, it was in the Journey Hub speculation archive place. Okay, so doing my own research, let's take a look at who these legs, more about these characters. So Cecilia is on the left, Miriel is in the middle, you can see with the heels, and then Lucilla is on the right. So this video is just looking at clearly purely speculation, and just to dive into a little bit of their abilities so we can get a sense of what they do. This is all coming from AFK Arena, but their abilities will be somewhat similar, or their kit will be somewhat similar when they move into AFK Journey. We can assume that it will go into AFK Journey considering that they've got the models of the legs already. And they've already got Taline, and so they're using all these heroes from AFK Arena, and because they share or they belong to the same universe. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at Cecilia. And Cecilia's backstory is she's a Lightbearer assassin, and she was just a average lady who was blind, and she had a loving husband, but one day he suddenly disappeared, and then she did some searching, found the perpetrators, and then killed them all. From there, she found her new purpose, which was to just kill all these people who, like these kind of same people who killed her husbands, which were the occultists. And then that's how the Lightborn faction people in the shadows hired her as an assassin. So taking a look at her abilities, she's basically like a Sylvina. So she will, in the beginning, teleport, or probably teleport behind the enemy, so mirrors their formation position, and then build up something called symbols of sin. And if you have three symbols of sin, then she can stun them. And so her goal is to just assassinate targets quickly, build up symbols of sin if they can't die quick enough, and she can also cast a divine circle which reduces enemies' attacks by 60%. So please note that this is all speculative, and this is just coming from her AFK arena abilities. But this is just to get a gist of what these heroes do. Okay? Now moving on, Lucilla, she is a Hypogean support. And her story is quite interesting. I had to go quite deep into this. But basically, she is born a twin with someone called Liberta. And you can see that is a male, and his legs don't belong in that advertisement. Otherwise, there would probably be a lot of backlash. So they are brothers and sisters, but they were separated, and they eventually, one was raised as a celestial and one was raised as a Hypogean. And her story, Lucilla's story, is kind of like, reminds me of Jinx's from League of Legends, or Arcane, if you've watched Arcane. And Arcane Season 2 is coming out, by the way. And their abilities are enhanced when they're in the same team. So if Lucilla is going to come out, Liberta would definitely come out shortly after. Because we can only have one Hypogean or Celestial pool at a time. Okay, so taking a look at Lucilla's abilities, she is a support, as mentioned before, and she can do a lot of debuffing. So here it says she can increase everyone's attacks and defense by 30%, and anyone within her domain, so in her aura, so kind of like Shakir's aura, they cannot gain shields, which is really strong because, you know, one of Scarlita is the PvP queen, and the best way to counter her is if you burst her team down, like the other people down, before she descends. One way to counter this is if you have shields. You can counter Scarlita, like if she comes down, you can counter her if you have shields, and you mitigate damage. So Shakir and Coco work very well. Like they can just negate all her damage, and she can't send anyone flying. But if you place a Lucilla in the team with Scarlita, then they can't gain shields. That's just one counter. Okay, her passive gives more debuffs. Okay, taking a look at her other skills. So you have Moonshade Chase, so she picks a random hero to chase, and she reduces their damage by a lot. And she can even stun the target. Here in Full Moon, she reduces healing? Okay, gives the target increased 350% damage, so kind of like Rainier. Lucilla takes 20% less damage, or 50% less damage, from non-chasing targets. Okay, and her third skill is she can't die. She has resurrection like Thorin. And if Liberta, her brother, is in the same team as her, she can resurrect 3 times. 3 times. But just like all resurrection counters, Scarlita will counter Lucilla. Okay. So very, very interesting. It's good to kind of get a grasp of what kind of heroes and abilities and their kits we can expect if Lucilla comes down as the new pool, then she is a support. I mean, we already have Rainier as the support, right? And if can Lucilla do a better job? Well, thinking about it, she has resurrection. Well, she herself can't die, but there's not much value in that if she doesn't benefit the team. So she can benefit the team by increasing the damage that the enemy is taken, and give everyone, all ally heroes, bonus attack and bonus defense. So this gives a slightly different kit than Rainier. Okay, so that's something to think about. And Cecilia, she looks like she's basically a Sylvina, but a Lightbearer Sylvina. So it's a good addition to have, not necessary, but if you want, you can have potentially a all assassin team in the future. So imagine a team with, right now you have Vala, Sylvina, and then you have Cecilia. You know, if you want to target one person, they will absolutely be destroyed. Okay. I found some AFK Arena old threads, and people say Cecilia is not a carry, she is a counter, and it sounds like that. I mean, it's like Sylvina, the same way you would use her more on offense than defense, and you would use her to assassinate someone. And then thoughts on Lucilla. She requires Liberta more than Liberta requires her. But people seem to like Liberta more, but they need or want Lucilla because she enhances Liberta's skills. Okay. If you have time, you can take a look at Lucilla's theme song and their story, Lucilla and Liberta's story. And we'll play a quick snippet just to give you a taste.
Like a Francis hound, I live as the weapon which is powerful.
So those are the twins and their story. And I did some more digging, and it turns out that these twins were separated very early on. But before that, they were, when they were together, they were taken in by two people called Gavis and Eugene. And Eugene is a Hypogean and Gavis is a Celestial. So I looked into them as well, and so Gavis raised Liberta, the Celestial, and Eugene raised Lucilla separately, or together at a time, and then they separated. And this is what they look like in AFK Arena. Okay, and taking a look at them, they look pretty cool, especially Gavis. Like, come on, he definitely looks like someone you really want to pull. But now we're going really deep into this speculative ocean. So again, this is all speculation, but for me, I'm just truly curious, but also a little bit bored of the game. So we need to have some, things to be interested and excited about in the future. So looking at Eugene, he is a AoE mage, and in his ulti, he will deal a burst of damage to all targets, and if they survive, he will deal more damage. And actually, if Gavis is in the same composition as Eugene, he will deal even more damage. And Gavis, he has these like principles or rules that must be obeyed as long as he's in there. And one thing I found interesting is like there is a certain order to the deaths of enemy heroes. So that means like he's got OCD or something like that, and there's a certain order that heroes must die. Anyway, he's very interesting. You can take a read if you like. But his skills are enhanced if Hypogean is there as well. Okay. Alright, so a quick summary. This is just based off the speculation of these legs. And this is all from originally just a Japanese AFK Journey ad about the game. And we've found out that these legs belong to Cecilia Mirael and Lucilla. And Cecilia is a Lightbearer assassin, and Lucilla is a Hypogean support. And obviously we already have Mirael in the game. So there you go. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, and feel free to leave a comment. And yeah, thank you very much. See you.